Welcome back to my channel. It is Candace with a K here, where I normally talk books, beauty, and kicks. Today I am giving you my review of We Are Not Like Them. Do I like it? Do I not like it? What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. You have to stay tuned so we can talk about it. So to give you just a little idea of this book, imagine that you as a Black woman have this white best friend who is married to a cop. The cop shoots a Black boy, and now you are stuck in this odd place with your friendship because how can we move on? Sounds like a great story. It is a great story, and I am about to give you everything I liked and did not like about this book. So please, if you have not read the book yet, I am about to drop some spoilers. If you have read the book, please keep watching so that we can get through this together. So I don't know if I like this book, and I don't not like this book. So it's in a really weird place for me because I think, one, the book is very well written. The book is very, very, very well written. The story even is a great story because I'm sure it's a lot of things that people have had to negotiate over these last few years and probably since the beginning of time. However, I just wanted more. I just wanted something drastic to happen. So this is how it goes. So we meet Riley, who is a newscaster. Her career is skyrocketing. She's trying to land an anchor position. And so she's constantly on the hunt of trying to find these jobs and these stories that are going to get her in that lead chair. She is best friends with Jennifer, or throughout the book we know her as Jen or Jenny. And Jen is pregnant after multiple rounds of IVF and being unable to conceive. She finally gets her miracle baby by help of Riley, who happened to donate $5,000 to her so that she can go through another round of IVF. This time it being successful, they're very excited about this newborn baby. So they're out to lunch, having a good time, and all of a sudden, Jen gets a call that makes her have to leave lunch immediately, or dinner. And when she leaves, Riley's kind of like, okay, bye. Like, why is she leaving? But being in the news circuit and being up to date with what happens in the news, she gets notification that cop shoots teen boy. We later learn that the cop that shot the teen boy is Jen's husband. And we also learned that the boy that was killed is a Black teenager who happened to be unarmed. So this is a common narrative that we've seen in many news cycles. And so it could be a trigger warning for some people. It could be almost traumatic to read because while it is fiction, it definitely is a non-fictive story. Like, we see it countless times. So in all of this, Jen is trying to paint the picture that we are not like them, as like we're not those racist type of people. But in a system that is complicit in all of that, you have to be like, girl. So Jen comes from a background of which is not privileged. That is one of the ways in which her and Riley are even friends. Her mother is kind of like a on the whim, loopy type of character who is easy to privilege or put her man over her child. So that's why Jen often stayed with Riley's family, going to church, spending time with her grandmother, engulfing her in her own Black experience. So as all of this stuff is happening with her husband and him killing this Black boy, the first thing she does, which I could have went through the book and slapped Jennifer, was when the reporters started to ask her, like, well, why would, what's going on with your husband, blah, blah, blah. My best friend is Black. I have Black friends. Girl. Now, we all know that white people use that, and they use it for certain as a shield to protect them from the "you're a racist" comment. And her doing that in that instance, especially having grown up with Black people, she should have known better. Right? Right. But when she did that, girl, I could have choked her. And then I think, as a Black person, I'm a Black person who doesn't have many white friends, if any. or any that I would call friend. I have coworkers, I have acquaintances, I have people I see out in the street. I can be cordial, but I have none that I would consider as a friend. And in this case, these are friends, okay? You've given her money, she stayed with you, you've grown up together. So in Riley's positioning, I don't know if I would have been able to handle the relationship as we see her struggle throughout the book. So she becomes distant. She doesn't know how to communicate her feelings to her. She just feels as though this white woman is not going to get it. And I completely agree and sympathize with Riley, because not only are you losing a best friend, you are unable to communicate to how your best friend could be better, because we live in a system where this white woman is always going to be privileged over this black woman. So as Riley is trying to move up through her job, she is put on the story of having to cover this case, which adds a whole nother layer to it, because now you're not only in this weird space with your friend, but you're also in a weird space professionally, because you have to tither and be very objective as to not seem as though you're taking sides when this is your best friend, right? And so her interviewing the mother of the boy that was killed, her trying to be frontline on the story, I completely sympathize with this character. Like, girl, I couldn't even imagine. But Jen's family, or Jen's husband's family rather, they was giving racist. Like, there was big racist energy there. And so I think personally, Riley felt those same things, because I don't know, the whole like Blue Lives Matter, protecting other cops, like I can't get with it. I don't know. I don't have any insight on cop mentality, but it was given a little racist. What I do appreciate in this book is that the sister-in-law was very vocal about being the moral compass. Honestly, she was like, this is wrong, like this is right, this is wrong. She was the best white person in the family. But like, because she was the one that was really the only one keeping it real, everybody was trying to make sure that he had his best interest at heart, which I get that too. But at the end of the day, you killed an unarmed boy. And I know black people, men, boys, girls, women, girls and boys are often adultified, meaning that they're expected to be these grown people when they're just a kid. We saw it with Tamir Rice. So like, it's hard. It's hard. The emotional piece to this story was definitely Riley's grandmother being ill and her having to kind of go through that situation alone, because her and Jen were kind of distant. But also Riley's grandmother kind of revealing that she experienced this same kind of inner turmoil when her cousin Jimmy was lynched. To be still having the same dialogue about black men, black people, nearly 50, 60 years later is actually terrifying. And I don't understand how we can't seem to get our eyes and wrap our minds around that. We are literally still having conversations that mirror one another. Lynching to unarmed killings are hand in hand. And it's crazy that we're still experiencing this decades later. And I really love that the authors decided to, drop that little nugget, because it's literally showing you how nothing is changing. The systems have now been renamed, but nothing is changing. It's crazy. I think it's a very powerful book, and I think it's very good to talk about, and I think it's a great discussion piece, and I think it is well written. What I needed, and this is really just me being me, what I needed from the book is that I needed Jen to also lose something. And it's very harsh to say, but in the end, she still didn't lose. Like, she lost literally nothing. So what we see in this book is that Riley lost her grandmother. She had to sit at the hands of another black woman who lost her child. It's just, she even had to see her brother lose. So we're seeing Riley lose, or, you know, even people in connection with Riley lose, while Jen has lost nothing. All Jen's husband lost was his job as a cop. Okay. In that same breath, they received $10,000 from the organization who, racist much? In the same breath, he was offered a new job. In the same breath, they were starting a whole new life as if nothing happened. And I think there's commentary in that as well, as we see that Black women, Black people have to go through all of these losses, and a white person can lose something and their life will just carry on. I think for me, Jennifer should have lost something. I don't want to say it's the baby, but the baby probably should. That's not funny. These are fictional characters. But I don't, you know, she should have lost something. Whether it be, it should have just been the baby. Because what else could she have lost? She needed to lose something. Maybe she should have even lost her husband. But that's a little too extreme. She needed to lose something just so that I could feel as if the losses were fair. If that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but it makes sense to me. Nonetheless, I still gave this book 4 stars because I think it's a great novel. It's a great discussion piece. It's a great, well-written body of work. I think the 2 women did their thing. They got it together. I think the cover is absolutely beautiful. And I really want most of you, all of you, to read it and let me know your thoughts. Be sure to comment down below, and I will see you in my next video.